Welcome back, disciples and scholars. I am Nergling. My compatriot Voldemort requested that I keep his large leather chair warm whilst he furthers his mastery of alchemy. To that end, I have come to regale you with tales of the grim dark. But before we start, be sure to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss an update. If you enjoy this presentation, then please consider subscribing to my own channel, linked below. Now, let us begin. Obliterators. The mere utterance of their name sends shivers down the spine. No longer mere men, their corruption is complete, and their mutation beyond extreme. They are a confused amalgam of demon, man, and machine, their humanity left far behind in their never-ending quest for perfection. Infected with the Obliterator virus, a powerful and mysterious pathogen with the ability to totally transform a host's body into that of a living weapon. The changes that the Obliterator virus causes allow incredible abilities to manifest throughout their bodies, now unrecognizable as anything other than a creature of chaos. Their heightened Space Marine physiology allows for more changes than any simple man could withstand. Like many Chaos Space Marines, their bodies fuse with their armor. Crucially, however, the change does not stop there. Their size, strength and durability increase several times over, making them hulking great masses of living metal. However, the Obliterators are not famed for their sheer size and strength alone, as formidable as this makes them. It is for their nightmarish matter manipulation abilities. Rather than carry arms into battle, they form the weapons they desire from their living flesh. Energy weapons, cutting saws, and missile launchers are their purview. However, they have been known to form masonry drills, crushing claws, and even mighty energy-sheathed hammers with which to smash their foes. Though their bulky stature does not allow them to move particularly quickly across the battlefield, they are able to teleport almost anywhere with ease, a disturbing ability for those doing battle with them. For what could be more terrifying than a giant machine demon stepping out of the warp atop your position? To quote an encounter with an Obliterator on the battlefield: "It's every gun ablaze, massive caliber shells and red-hot casings fountaining in all directions. Chains of gunfire rip through the air, sending bright points of light streaming into the well-lit spherical room beyond. The noise was truly terrible, like that of rumbling thunder during the most violent of storms." Today, Obliterators are rare, so rare that many believe them the stuff of myth and legend. Some whisper their names in dark establishments across the galaxy, yet few have truly witnessed their horror in person, for most would not survive such an encounter. The Obliterator cult owe their allegiance to no man, particular Chaos God or Legion. Instead, they form an insular collective obsessed with the pursuit of technological and alchemical knowledge and the fusion of flesh and steel. Their past is shrouded in mystery, with many suspecting that the first Obliterator was created during the Horus Heresy. Legend has it that Volk, commander of the Iron Warriors' 786th Grand Flight during the Horus Heresy, became the first. During the battle for Kraid, against a renewed loyalist offensive led by the Ultramarines, Volk and Perturbo were ordered by Argonis, an emissary of Horus, to find Angron and muster at Ullanor for the drive on Terra. Volk was distraught to see a planet he had fought so bitterly for abandoned, and led a daring raid into the Loyalist lands the night before they were due to evacuate, in order to bleed the enemy one last time. Impressed with his charge, Perturbo would keep Volk by his side throughout the journey to find Angron. On Sarum, the group met with the demon Sarah-Am, who revealed that Angron was on the world of Deluge. However, Sarah-Am broke free of its bindings and possessed the body of Volk, transforming him into the first Obliterator. It is unknown if any essence of Volk survived this process, but the creature went on to fight alongside Perturbo, Foryx and Argonis on Deluge against Angron and his crazed World Eaters. Volk survived the Battle of Deluge and was brought to the muster on Ullanor. During the Siege of Terra, Volk, now known as Volk Sarah-Am, worked with the Dark Mechanicum Magos Ainur Sataral to introduce a demonic computer virus into the systems of the Lionsgate spaceport, disabling it and allowing Horus's fleet to approach undetected. Some believe that the Obliterator virus was a creation of the Dark Mechanicus, the culmination of their mad quest to fuse technology and biology. Indeed, the Obliterator is lauded by the Mechanicum as the apex of technological achievement, and it continues to work tirelessly to replicate the virus without its association with chaos to this day. Unfortunately, it is this link to demonkind that allows the fusion of man and machine so perfectly, for without the demon there is but flesh and machine working at odds with each other. Ironically, the harmony in the system comes from chaos itself, a rather chaotically poetic occurrence, I think you will agree. In Chaos Space Marine forces lucky enough to be able to call upon the might of the Obliterators, their numbers may amount to less than a dozen, and as such are much sought after. However, amongst the ranks of the Iron Warriors, their numbers drastically increase, for they have a special association with the Obliterator cult. Indeed, the Iron Warriors' madness will even go as far as to infect their own with the Obliterator virus. This is viewed as a great honour amongst the disciples of Iron, and volunteers are in no short supply. For what true Iron Warrior could pass up the opportunity of immortality as a living weapon? Creatures of unbridled destruction, they delight in the annihilation of fortresses and installations, the stronger all the better, reducing them to but rubble in wave after wave of missiles, plasma and flame. In particular, their joy is unparalleled in the obliteration of their age-old foes, the Imperial Fists, the Iron Warriors' illustrious loyal cousins, a rivalry that began many millennia ago before the Horus Heresy. Merihem was an obliterator of the Iron Warriors who served in the Third Grand Company. After becoming infected with the Obliterator virus, Merihem was twisted into a gigantic, hideous mess of flesh and machine, and lost any sense of himself. Becoming little more than a mindless killing machine, his path led him to be considered such a danger to his own brothers that he was locked up by warsmith Andraz. After decades of confinement, the Iron Warriors, so desperate to fight off an Orc invasion during the siege of Castellax, released Merihem. After slaughtering many of his mortal guards, Merihem agreed to join Rodan against the Greenskins on the condition that he would be allowed to exact his revenge for his imprisonment against the Iron Warriors once the battle was done. Helping Rodan battle the Orc forces throughout Castellax, Merihem later aided Rodan in putting down the renegade Techmarine Oriax after he betrayed the Iron Warriors. However, with the battle now for all purposes settled, Merihem quickly turned on his fellow Iron Warriors to exact his revenge, terminating many Chaos Marines and nearly killing Rodan himself. However, the tide turned when the badly injured Iron Warrior Gamori gave himself over to demonic possession, transforming himself into a possessed Marine, stalling Merihem long enough for Rodan to incinerate his skull with his plasma pistol. Creator Rex was an obliterator who took part in many of the bloodiest battles of the Horus heresy. At the request of Horus himself, he built machines that combined the arts with the transformational power of chaos. He, or rather it, now fights at Abaddon's side, building massive engines of war to carry out the Despoiler's bidding. His brass scorpions, towers of skulls, plague reapers and lords of skulls are his want and wane. His constructs proved vital in the attacks upon the Delver strongholds of Pythos during the Pandorax campaign. His powerful siege breakers quickly breached the walls and spearheaded the final assault. To conclude, the Obliterators are a force beyond compare, their destructive abilities unmatched. Whilst the forces of the Iron Warriors revere them as living gods, the forces of Chaos appreciate them for their capacity for violence. Meanwhile, the Mechanicum jealously seek to replicate their powers, whilst the Imperium fear and loathe them for their very being. I have been Nergling, your faithful servant, in lieu of Voldemort, and I bid you good day.